St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, but he never said anything about temptation. Irish whiskey, smooth, rich, and a little dangerous. Just like a proper St. Patty night should be.
So it's St. Patrick's Day. We're close enough to it.
Close enough. Yeah.
So we figured we would bring you guys a sampling of Irish whiskeys.
Now, when you mentioned sampling, I think you mean a little bit more than a sampling, because I know we have 3 here, but are we going to do like total 6?
Yeah, there's a total of 6.
Oh, wow.
So we already had a couple on the shelf. I went to the liquor store because we were going to do the cocktails and I needed a few things. And I was like, oh, we don't have this. We don't have that. Well, we can't do Irish without this. And I ended up with 6 bottles. And I mean, I'm not mad about it because we do like Irish whiskey. And we've really have figured that out while doing our cocktails for this month. And even in the past when we did Keeper's Heart for one of ours. And that was such a good, and then the Teelings we've used before. Then we didn't even account for your Teelings in the port cask. But I think that one's such a special bottle that it should get its own episode down the road. And in May, I am actually going to Ireland, so I can't say what I'm going to come home with. So there could be an Irish whiskey part 2.
I think we should expect that.
Yeah. If you're going there, you kind of have to do it.
Now,
So
you are going to see some distilleries.
Yes, I do know that we're going to hit at least 2, potentially 6.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to go to as many as possible.
Nice.
And my biggest thing is going to be finding a way to bring them home. And that might actually be a fun episode of how to pack bottles for your travels. Yeah. So let's get into the actual reason that we're here. So Irish whiskey is one of the most popular forms of whiskey in the world. Solely a product of Ireland, the rules for production of Irish whiskey date back to the 1880s. There are 2 major components of the Irish Whiskey Act of 1950.
So Irish whiskey, it needs to be distilled in the country of Ireland, makes sense, and from a mash of malt and cereal grains.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Irish pot still whiskey can only be distilled in pot stills within Ireland from a mash of cereal grains and that are actually originally grown in Ireland, which, I mean, makes sense. It's kind of like the bottled and bond thing. It's all on the up and up.
Yeah, and very much similar to bottled and bond, it's by Irish law, all whiskeys have to be aged for a minimum of 3 years in barrels, but a little bit of a difference here is they can be either new or used barrels, and a lot of times they're going to use sherry, bourbon, or rum barrels.
That's awesome. And I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but in our travels, we've talked about a lot of distillers that the barrel part of the bourbon industry in the United States is a back and forth that we send Ireland and other countries our barrels to use for theirs, and then they send us barrels back for that second infusion, the finishing. So there's always barrels being moved across the world, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll go to Scotland, Ireland, then go down to the Caribbean for rum, and then end up in finishing their days back here for finishing.
Yeah, that's great. So this is the Black Shirt Bourbon Society. Let's get drinking. So to start off this journey to Ireland, we are going to use Jameson as our first sampling because Jameson has become the most recognizable and best-selling Irish whiskey in the world, and they have a really good range of products. Last year, I think they delivered something like 56 million bottles, which is an astronomical number, and it's just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, that is a lot of bottles.
Yeah. So let's get into this one.
So, if we look at the color, probably like a pale gold color. The Jameson's is going to be 80 proof. On the nose, so it's a little different with the hops. I get a little bit of clove a little bit of pear.
Yeah, you definitely smell that fruit.
So there's a kind of like a marzipan flavor there.
Yeah. You definitely taste the hops.
You do definitely taste the hops. I get a little bit of a, I'd call it wouldn't be chocolate, it'd be more of a cocoa flavor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe a slight oakiness to it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Definitely not as intense as as a bourbon, but there's definitely some oakiness.
I would call it a medium finish.
Yeah.
A little bit of spiciness to the finish.
But not a whole lot.
No, not a lot. But a good start down the journey.
Yeah. 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 As a kind of the benchmark for Irish whiskeys, let's see where everything else takes us. Number 2 of our tour of Ireland is Bushmills, which again is another staple Irish whiskey, pretty much sold around the world. It's actually the world's oldest licensed whiskey distillery, and they have 400 years of whiskey making, which is mind-blowing to think that that's 200 years more than the United States has even been around, which is crazy. A little less.
Well, yeah,
little,
your
little-
math is a little
little
off, but
less.
that's all right.
Yeah, if you drink enough, your math is right. It's fine. They're located in Northern Ireland, and they are famed for their triple-distilled single malt whiskeys. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so as we look at the Bushmills, and I mean, even just looking at the bottle, you could tell that the color, it's like a pale straw there, very, very light. It's 80 proof. Immediately on the nose is vanilla. You get a little bit of a creme brulee flavor there on the nose.
Yeah.
A lot of honey there.
Yeah. I still get a little hoppiness from it, but definitely the honey.
It's very, very crisp and fresh, and it's a very short finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this would be a good one, on the rocks, neat.
Yeah.
I think Jameson I would prefer maybe in a mix, but this would be a good sipper.
It is, yeah.
That's very good.
Number 3.
Number 3. So this is probably we'll say the newcomer to the Irish whiskey family. This is Proper 12, and I kind of like celebrity-inspired bottles.
We know that.
Yeah.
Go back to Noble.
We have Travelers. It's kind of a cool thing that celebrities get into this industry, leave their mark. So Proper 12 is created by Conor McGregor of MMA fame. It actually goes back to show tribute to the neighborhood where he grew up. It's produced at the oldest distillery in Ireland, which we all know just means it's made at Bushmills. But we really liked Bushmills, so this should be a pretty good one to try. So let's give it a go.
So 80 proof. It is going to be darker than the last one. So it's a little bit darker than pale gold, don't you think?
Yeah.
So maybe that pale amber.
Yeah, pale amber is a good one, yeah.
On the nose, I get a lot of vanilla. I get a lot of honey.
Yeah.
A little bit of spice, too.
Yeah, there's maybe a little bit of a caramel.
There is. A little bit of pear.
Definitely a slight oakiness.
It is, but it's very light.
Very light.
A little bit of vanilla there. Maybe I would go from a light to medium finish.
Yeah. Now, the first drink was small. The second drink was a little bit bigger. And there is an alcohol-y hit to it that definitely would not shoot this.
Yeah.
But
I think it could definitely go in a mixer.
Yeah, definitely a mixer for sure. I'm Not my favorite of what we've drank so far, but would still drink it.
Yeah,
If it was the only option of Irish whiskey, I would definitely go for it. Yeah. All right, so we're going to reset number 4, 5, and 6. We'll be right back. So here we are, 4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
So number 4 is Teeling's Irish Whiskey. So Jack Teeling founded the Teeling Whiskey Company in 2012. And I don't know why. I guess it's just because everything has been around for so long in Irish whiskey that 2012 just kind of baffled me when I first read that.
Yeah, I thought it would have been around a lot longer.
Yeah. So Jack decided that he was going to challenge the norm by crafting Irish whiskey with more depth and personality than its current mass market options. And this has become Ireland's leading independent Irish whiskey. It comes from a family with a long tradition of making Irish whiskey. So
Yeah.
let's give her a go.
I have been looking forward to this, especially after getting the Teelings in Portugal.
Yeah.
That's finished in that Portuguese cask. So it is kind of that maybe pale gold.
Yeah.
It is definitely light. 92 proof. So on the nose, I get a lot of spice. I get some vanilla.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of citrus.
But it almost smells like something else. Like, it doesn't smell like whiskey.
No.
Maybe a rum?
Ooh. So that has more of what I would consider the Irish whiskey taste than we've seen so far.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of dried fruit, apricot. Some apples, some spices.
Maybe a lemon, but not a sour lemon.
No, it's not a sour lemon. Would you call it maybe like a lemon curd type flavor?
Yeah, like a good sweet, creamy lemon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is good. It's sweet.
It is very sweet. I would say a medium finish.
Yeah. It lingers just long enough.
Yeah, it does. And on that last one, I may have gotten a little bit of a dried grape raisin type flavor.
There's definitely a dried fruit
There is.
across the board. Yeah. That was good.
That was a nice pickup.
Yeah, very good. All right, we'll be right back with number 5. So, number 5.
Number
We're
5.
almost finished with this one. So, Tullamore Dew in the Tullamore Distillery was founded by Michael Malloy on the outskirts of Tullamore in Ireland in 1829.
So we're back to a little bit older Irish whiskey.
Yeah, which is again what we think of the tradition of Irish whiskey. It was passed on to his son to be the general manager, and that was a good decision because his son built the company into what the success it is today. So let's give her a shot.
So on the color, it's definitely stays on that lighter side, pale straw, 80 proof. On the nose, it is very fruit forward.
Yes.
Little bit of a biscuit.
I mean, there's like a
On the nose,
cookie-ish. Yeah.
Definitely get vanilla.
And that shortbread or cookie, biscuit, whatever you want to call it,
It is.
it comes through in the flavor.
It does. Maybe like an oatness.
Yeah, there's a subtle oaky.
I'm thinking like an oat. Like maybe like what you would think about with granola.
Yeah. There's a definite complexity to this. And I'm just thinking about this, about the how everything is so light in color. I'm wondering if it has to do with the climate in Ireland, where it doesn't get super hot, doesn't get super cold, so those barrels can't really expand and contract and pull that liquid in. to do like a Kentucky bourbon would.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
But I think of all of them so far, this has been the most complex
Yes.
of the flavor profiles.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots going on, but not too much that it's weird. I do very much enjoy it.
Yeah. And I would say, again, probably a medium finish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe a slight herbiness to it on that finish. It's not too crazy.
Now, in all honesty, this is really the end of our Irish whiskeys, though, right? With
Yes.
With number
Yes.
6, we're going to kind of take a little bit different.
Yeah, so number 6, we're going to take a little bit of a leap into not an Irish, but yes. So stay tuned and we'll be right back for that one. So number 6, and like we said, this is not a traditional Irish whiskey
Yep.
because it is a blend. So Patrick and Michael O'Shaughnessy took their vision for whiskey and merged them together to make something incredible. I think we got this to start for some of our cocktails. It was a unique product, and we thought that it blended well with American bourbon and Irish whiskey, and it just goes to show that. And it's really kind of cool. So Brian Nation, their master distiller, has been from Jameson and Redbreast, and he came over to Minnesota, if I'm correct, and helped the O'Shaughnessy's create the O'Shaughnessy Distilling Company and make Keeper's Heart. So why don't we talk about it?
Yes, so it is going to be that kind of like maybe pale gold.
Yeah, I'd say that.
86 proof.
Ooh,
Very floral.
very floral.
Floral forward.
Maybe some baking spices?
There is some baking spices there. You know, I get a lot of ginger
Oh, yeah.
in there. A little bit of lemon, maybe like a lemon zest.
Yeah,
type.
not as sweet as that
No.
the Tullamore Dew. Yeah. Vanilla.
Maybe a little bit of a. It's not that sweet shortbread. Maybe a more biscuit.
Yeah. And there's a fruit. I really can't tell what it is, but it's like a
I kind of get a little bit of apricot.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a little bit of an apricot fruit.
yeah. Yeah.
Long finish.
Yeah, definitely long finish.
Spiciness, a little bit of oakiness on the finish.
But it has a good sweetness.
It does have a good sweetness.
Yeah.
They've done a great job of blending.
Yeah. Very good. And I think that helps to end our Irish whiskey episode where we've come back across. We've had the Great Migration, and now we're back in the U.S. doing what we know best, making whiskey, bourbon, adding them together.
Yeah, and I hope everybody has a great St. Patrick's Day.
Slánta. I guess I'm saying that right. Is that right?
I
It's Gaelic. I'm not sure, but I think that's right. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, definitely make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, this is the Black Shirt Bourbon Society. Drink safe, friends.